Mother has a river that sings.
Welcome to the Voice of Autism Resource Hub. Today, we are excited to introduce resources highlighting modern technological advancements in digital efficiency and educational innovation. Details a specialized online curriculum for educators that replaces static learning plans with dynamic, personalized digital twins. This educational framework uses real-time data and predictive modeling to personalize support for primary school students with diverse needs. These materials showcase how artificial intelligence can streamline professional tasks and revolutionize individualized instruction through data-driven insights.
A sky of light where hope will stay. Mother dreams of clouds soft and bright, a horizon glowing with radiant light. The river no longer flows in reverse. Tears turn to stone, a path to traverse. Paving the road for my journey to Rome. Her love's the guide that will lead me home. I feel her care. Her love's a whisper in the air. Through clouds of dreams, she sees my way. A sky of light where hope will stay. Journey to Rome. Her love's the guide that will lead me home. Mother has a river that sings. White herons dance where the meadows ring. When I was born, joy burst through, spilling like waves to the endless sea. Tears turn to stone, a path to traverse. Paving the road for my journey to Rome. Her love's the guide that will lead me home. Mother has a river that sings. White herons dance where the meadows ring. When I was born, joy burst free, spilling like waves to the endless sea. Mother has nights silent and still, a heart full of worry, a void to fill. The river flows back tears in streams to quiet springs where sorrow dreams. I lie close, I feel her care. Her love's a whisper in the air. Through clouds of dreams, she sees my way. A sky of light where hope will stay. Mother dreams of clouds soft and bright, a horizon glowing with radiant light. The river no longer
Okay, think about this for a second. You know that thick paper file that follows a student around, the one that only gets updated maybe once a year? Imagine we could take that and transform it into a living, breathing digital counterpart that actually learns and grows with them in real time. Let's dive into how this incredible technology is making that happen.
So on one side, you've got the classic Individualized Education Plan, or IEP. It's really just a snapshot, right? A picture of a moment in time. But on the other side, you have the Personal Digital Twin, or PDT. And that, well, that's the whole movie. It's a student's entire educational journey playing out live, and it's used to support them every single day. So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll unpack the big idea itself. Then, we're going to peek under the hood and see what makes a PDT tick. After that, we'll see it in action in a real classroom, figure out how we even know if it's working, and finally, we'll look ahead to the incredible future this all points to.
All right, let's jump right into our first section. The really big shift here, the fundamental change, is that we're moving away from just looking back at what happened. Instead, this tech is all about predicting what's about to happen. So what does that actually mean? Well, instead of waiting for a problem to pop up and then scrambling to react, teachers can now use this digital twin to run simulations. They can ask, what if I introduce a brand new math concept? Or what if the classroom gets a little too loud? The system can then predict potential struggles, whether they're cognitive or behavioral, letting educators get way out ahead of challenges. It's a total game changer.
So, you're probably wondering, how on earth does this all work? Let's break down the anatomy of a personal digital twin. Now, it might sound super complex, but it's actually built on a few really smart core ideas that come together to create this living, breathing profile of a student.
First up, the PDT itself. The best way to think about it is like a living, learning avatar for the student. It's not just a digital folder that stores old reports. It's a dynamic replica that is constantly learning from new data, adapting over time, and, like we just saw, is used to run those powerful simulations to give support right when it's needed most.
Now, the memory of this digital twin is something called the digital thread. This is absolutely key. It's basically a continuous data stream that follows a student from preschool through elementary and beyond. This is what makes sure that no crucial information ever gets lost when a student moves to a new grade or even a new school.
And how does it capture all this info? It uses a clever data format called the XAPI standard. All that really means is it translates a student's actions into simple little sentences, like Mariah completed the math puzzle, or Leo asked for help with a word. One of these statements doesn't tell you much, but when you have thousands of them, they paint an incredibly rich and detailed picture of that student's entire learning journey.
Of course, you can't just drop a tool this revolutionary into a classroom and hope for the best. The training for teachers is focused on two main things. First, it's a huge mindset shift, getting comfortable moving from old-school static reports to this new world of dynamic simulation. And second, it's the practical stuff, really understanding the data and getting the twins seamlessly integrated into their day-to-day teaching.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get practical and see what this twin actually looks like in the classroom. This is where it gets really cool, because this support is absolutely not one size fits all. It's completely customized for the unique challenges of each and every age group.
For a first grader, maybe the biggest hurdle of all is just that transition from a play-based preschool into a more structured school. It can be a huge shock to the system. So, for them, the PDT is laser-focused on making that transition as smooth as possible, all while building those crucial academic foundations.
The tools here are just fascinating. There's something called a warm handover, which syncs all the data from preschool. That means on the very first day of school, the teacher already knows that child's perfect sensory levels for things like noise and light. The system can even run a simulation to predict how a child might react to seeing new letters and numbers, helping the teacher prevent them from getting overwhelmed in the first place.
Okay, now fast forward to 2nd and 3rd grade. The social world of the classroom suddenly gets a lot more complicated, right? Group projects start becoming a thing. So here, the PDT's focus naturally shifts to helping kids develop those critical social skills and executive functions they need to navigate this new landscape.
And this is where some amazing tech comes into play. We're talking wearable IoT sensors or AI-powered cameras that can spot the super subtle early signs of sensory overload during group work. They can alert the teacher long before a student gets distressed. And get this, students can even practice things like taking turns or making eye contact in personalized virtual reality scenarios. It gives them a totally safe space to build up their confidence. By the time kids hit 4th and 5th grade, they're getting ready for another massive transition, middle school. So now, the focus shifts again. It's all about empowering these students to understand their own needs, to speak up for themselves, and to get ready for all the new challenges, both academic and social, that are just around the corner.
Now, what's so incredible here is the student-read PDT. At this stage, students can actually interact with their own digital twin. They can see their own data, their own response patterns, and start to learn what works best for them. And then when it's time to move on, that digital thread we talked about exports 5 full years of detailed data, making sure the middle school team is 100% ready from day one.
So we've seen how it all works in theory, but the big question is, how do we know it's actually working? And that brings us to the all-important idea of measuring what really matters. So let's look at the specific key performance indicators, or KPIs, that tell us if the system is truly successful.
This table really gives us the whole picture. You can see that success isn't just one thing. It's measured across the entire system. For teachers, it's about speed and accuracy, getting data updates in less than 3 seconds. For students, it's about seeing real, tangible results, like a 10 to 15% jump in academic scores. And holding it all together is this system itself, where 100% compliance on data privacy is the absolute non-negotiable foundation.
But let's just pause on this one number for a second. 80%. That's the goal for the number of potential meltdowns or emotional escalations that the system successfully predicts and helps de-escalate. I mean, think about that. That isn't just a data point. That represents a calmer, safer, more positive day at school for a child. That is the real-world impact we're talking about.
And you know, the system is never done. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. At the beginning of every single school year, there's a process called twin enrichment. This is where the predictive models get refined with new data, everything gets checked for consistency, and new data layers are added for skills that become more important as a child grows. The twin literally grows up right alongside the student.
Okay, this brings us to our final section, and it's where we get to zoom out and look at the future. Because the ultimate promise of this technology, its true potential, extends so far beyond just the classroom walls.
So if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this. We are witnessing a monumental shift from a static document that gets buried in a filing cabinet to a dynamic, predictive partner that is right there with the student on their educational journey every single step of the way.
And that leaves us with one final big idea to chew on. We've seen how this can completely transform support for the students who need it most. But what if this wasn't just for specialized support? What if every single student had a digital twin to help them find their strengths, navigate their unique challenges, and truly unlock their full potential? Just imagine, how would that change the very nature of education forever?
A sky of light where hope will stay. Ooh, mother dreams of clouds soft and bright, a horizon glow